Hello once again everybody, my name is Amadeus and welcome back to another series on the act of contemplation. Now I've already watched these replays and I already recognize what's going on and what I could have done differently, but this is my tournament match against Zalami up here as the purple cartel. This was our pink, whatever the color is. This was our first of our best of three, which spoilers right here, I lost. He won 2-0, but I don't feel too bad because nobody has beat him yet. Not a single person in any tournament yet, as far as I know, has defeated him. Anyways, a few people wanted to see firsthand what happened in the match, and since it hasn't gone up on AoA replays yet, I figured I would do this, show you what happened. So, right off the bat, you probably recognize this from the previous act of contemplation where Boomer used this against me, where he did infantry only. Now this was a gamble. I didn't have much chance to actually study that before the match, and I took a gamble. I was like, I just want to see if this works. I'm going to try it, and I was hoping that it was going to be something surprising and unorthodox for Zalami to deal with, and unfortunately that did not end up being the case. Early on I did get this scout vehicle in there, but I wasn't really able to do much damage with it. Now looking at the replay, definitely a lot more damage could have been done, but I was too afraid of losing the recon right away without being able to do damage, and that's how that went. But I definitely could have inflicted a lot more harm with that. That actually could have helped me out a lot, but he was going a lot of infantry as well, which is not a bad idea at all. Very good idea. But yeah, this is basically what I was trying to do. Trying to do infantry spam, and for a while it seemed like it was going to work, but it I mean, obviously didn't quite pan out for me. Got it in some engagements over here, and yeah, still did not go well for me. I think I ended up taking that bank eventually, and we'll find out in just a moment. Then we have over here, this is where I was able to sort of start dealing some damage. Sort of. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one, honestly. I went for a very risky tactic. I knew it was risky, and it didn't pay off. He was doing the same thing. He was deploying plenty enough infantry that it kept me from keeping pressure on him, which is kind of the key to this tactic, if you're going to do it, is that you need to be able to pressure your opponent. It's about catching them off guard and trying to take away any early resources that they've spread to, like this refinery, and being able to keep them pinned into the corner while you expand your own resources and follow up with some heavier firepower. But unfortunately that's not how it went. Again, on this flank things did look up for a little bit because I was able to start pushing towards the space, but on this side with the bank, even though I was able to secure it right here, Zalami ended up pulling ahead. And it's because I missed this. I missed this refinery. I didn't do any scouting. I didn't miss that refinery. I didn't see this one. I didn't see this one. He clearly has an economic position ahead of me. And the banks are about the only thing going in my favor right now. I'm also able to push into this town. Things were looking good. I was feeling good at this point. Things were feeling pretty good, but he had a pretty sizable force pushing up the middle here, which I can't remember. I don't remember how bad this fight got. We got contractors and vipers. This is actually a good time to confirm this, but I have watched... I know the contractors can fire on the move, but I believe I have also seen the vipers do the same thing. I'm hoping we can kind of confirm that here. Okay, he attack moved his Vipers, so we don't really get to see that in action. But if anything, this match definitely had lots of cool and large infantry engagements such as this. Where I've literally got this house surrounded with javelins. Good stuff. It was definitely constant action, but again, I couldn't capitalize on it. I couldn't make anything happen of it. I didn't put enough pressure. He got artillery guns up, which was very smart. That's what kept me at bay. Even out here, he had one there, and he has one out here, so basically I can't get anywhere near it with infantry, because that artillery is powerful. This was pretty much my last ditch effort, or attempt, I guess. Again, I was playing sort of in the dark. I didn't know what was going on, so mentally, I still thought I was doing fairly well, but you know, we can tell from the replay here already that it's over. Especially when those mortars started raining down. It was like, yep, that's enough to do it, alright. But at least we get a nice, entertaining spectacle. Contractor strafing around, firing his Vector. Good stuff. Yeah, this, you know, he got plenty of PLWs. It was all in his favor. This was just me refusing to believe that it was over. I'm just gonna fast forward through most of the rest of it, because there's a few moments where I got some pushback against him, but as you can clearly see, he's got the prison facilities. He's got a strong economy that I haven't been able to harass him at, and now he's setting up right outside of my base. But I was very stubborn. I mean, at this point, I should have transitioned into something like Strikers. But you can see I've got some Striker ICVs being deployed, and that's because of the Hinds. I needed something to kind of fend those Hinds off, but that was literally like the only use I had for them. That and the Stingers. But I should have transitioned into vehicles. I had the light vehicle bay, but I didn't. I kept on. I was just very stubborn. I was like, no, this is gonna work. US infantry is gonna win it for me. Not true. But I was stubborn. Usually I'm not, but I was this time. I was convinced it was gonna work. Here, we got pretty much the whole lineup except for Delta Force. Got our snipers, we got some stingers, we got some mortar teams. Ready to go. This is actually, I'll be honest, despite me losing this match, it was totally worth it, because we had some of the coolest engagements I think I've experienced in this game so far. I've had a few other interesting ones, but this one, these confrontations you're about to see are pretty cool. It was pretty large. It was quite the spectacle to behold. So what you're seeing right now is I initiated this. I sent Sniper forward to scout ahead and start trying to reveal his units. And the goal was I have mortar teams that I wanted to start barraging this stuff, because I knew there was infantry and barracks out there. But I also have the, as you can see, the endless guidance for the javelins. And yeah, this is quite the sight to behold, in my opinion. He ends up coming at me, and it gets interesting. I'll leave it at that. I thought it was pretty fun. But there you can see the downside of the cartel artillery turrets. They're awesome. They help you control ground, but yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't build them, but the point is, if you are going to use them, you have to pay attention to when they're starting to get destroyed, because they explode in a huge radius, cause a ton of damage. I don't know why he sent these repair vehicles up. I guess for the hinds, but they're not actually armed. Fortunately for me. This was just an awesome moment. And then starts raining mortars on all my infantry. It's gonna be very rare that you see this much infantry stand off, and this is why I was still confident. I'm like, look, these numbers of infantry, even with these mortars, are hard to deal with. I know from personal experience. Especially when you get a medevac into the mix. They become very hard to deal with. But I wasn't ready to give in. The dream was still alive. The infantry dream. Oh, yes. It's so ridiculous. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. And to be perfectly honest, win or lose, I was just happy to have survived as long as I did against Zalami, because there was plenty of people who lost 2-0, and it was like 10-15 minute matches both times. I think this one I made it almost 40 minutes. Even though Cartel is now becoming my favorite faction, I can't deny my love for the Javelins. That range and that power, gotta love it. Yeah, so here, I'm gonna start fast forwarding again. I did start making a pushback, and this is also why I didn't give up in my stubbornness with the infantry, because I was pushing back. I was being somewhat successful. But this was the deal breaker right here. If I could not maintain these refineries, I knew it was going to be over. And he also started dropping bombs on me, and it wasn't cool. I think those are the hinds, actually. I think those are the hind napalm bombs, which are really nasty, I have to say. Yeah, if I couldn't maintain these refineries, and then I tried to get some rare earth as well, I wanted to go for stealth bombers, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because I wasn't able to hold it. Eventually he is able to push me back and wipe him off the face of the earth, basically. And this was brutal. These Scout CGS cars, because I had no detection. He came out here and ripped all of my infantry to shreds. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. It worked. And here come the stealth tanks. And here comes my Delta Force to reveal targets for all of these javelins. So at this point, I lose these refineries. I kind of already knew it was over. But honestly, I just wanted to see... I still had hope because I still had rare earth coming in. And I really, really wanted to make something happen. I had confidence. I had my admin centers going up. I was willing to try and make something work. Anything. Anything at all. Ultimately, I did not end up making stealth bombers. I did not have enough aluminum, and I decided I wanted to invest my aluminum into admin centers to maintain an economy, so I made F-35s. I sent out the lightnings to try and harass and stop his artillery, because he got these Contemplation to start. harassing me with artillery fire. I started putting Delta Force in this javelin perimeter to detect them, but apparently Deltas don't have a long enough sight range to actually find them far away. Spectres are very hard to deal. These Spectres, by the way, are in the final form. They have full upgrades, which means they can fire without revealing themselves. And that's... it doesn't necessarily equal game over. It doesn't mean GG, but they become infinitely more difficult to deal with, because now you need detection, and you need to be very careful with your detection, because it's very easy for someone with those Spectres to force target your recon unit. The best way, in my opinion, is using some sort of air recon, but again, it's situational. Ultimately, you need to be able to detect them, and if you don't have a detector unit, tanks are going to walk right over you. But when you can detect them, they are fragile. It does not take much to take them out. All of his automatics firing at my F-35s. No, I still had hope. I believe that was a Shadowhawk. I think he tried twice to come into my base with Shadowhawks, but I had Deltas, and this is what ended up being game over for me. I knew it was done, and I tried to get a Patriot deployed, but it wasn't enough. He was able to Thor my headquarters, and then he went for it. He went for it. Had my little bird. This is my little bird revealing all those tanks, because I knew the javelins would do the work, but they need to be able to see their target. But it was too much. He had a lot of firepower, came right up into my base, and it was over. My hopes and dreams crushed and lost forever. So there you go. That was our first match. I will be uploading the second match as well in a short period of time. That one was a little bit more interesting because I played normally, and he ended up playing a very unorthodox tactic that I had never seen before, and it worked stupidly well. You'll see. It was kind of ridiculous. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all for watching. My name is Amadeus, and I will see you next time.